paranormal slash supernatural stuff.
Bro, this is everyone in chat or people that know me. I don't watch horror movies. This is my belief. I don't watch horror movies because if I'm not exposed to it, it can't happen to me. So that's why,
So
like,
the
yeah,
ghost
if I don't
shit,
watch
like,
things
oh,
about
he
ghost
hasn't
shows,
seen this.
yeah,
He
he's
hasn't
like, you
seen
won't know
it
what to expect. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's why I don't watch horror movies, especially the ones that are at like a mental capacity where it's all in your mind. Like those are the worst to me because it's like I'm not physically scared. I'm like, what if because I'm exposed to it now, like I'm gonna think like that, and then that happens to me. So that's my take on horror movies. But Paranormal Activity, yeah, that shit fucks with me, especially kind of tie in like night terrors or sleep paralysis. Yo, that has got to be like one of my top fears. And Lee, I know you've had an experience or multiple with these. Like, I don't even like to talk about it because I'm like, yo, if I talk about it, bro, this is gonna happen to me tonight.
It's bad voodoo.
But yo, that shit is like definitely probably top 2, 3 in my list of fears is sleep paralysis because that feeling of like unhelplessness is just like that I couldn't even imagine. I can't like fathom what that would feel like.
So I'm telling you this now. Sorry, I could cut you off real quick, Lucas. I'm telling you this now.
Yeah, fuck Lucas talking.
Yeah, I'll cut him off forever. Hashtag fuck Lucas. I started that hashtag, by the way. People, feel free to use it on any Instagram post. Tag us in it. Hashtag fuck Lucas.
Send it to my mom.
Let's keep that alive. But if you have not experienced sleep paralysis, I'm not even exaggerating. You haven't experienced fear. Like that shit.
Oh.
Mind you, I'm sure there are some things in the world that are scarier. Like home intrusions and that kind of stuff's pretty scary. But as far as the everyday life goes, sleep paralysis is second to none on how freaking terrifying that shit is. And you don't get used to it. You don't.
Oh, like the feeling that you can't do anything has got to be. Because the thing, like with a home invasion, like sure, like you can then use, like you could, intervene in some way, but like with that, like you can't do anything, man. Like that's fucked up.
So, to kind of bounce off that is one time Lee and one of our other friends talked to me about sleep paralysis, and I was talking about how I've never experienced it, and they fucking jinxed me. And like because the night of like after we talked about it, I remember sending you guys a text message the next day is like I experienced it, and the way I experienced it though was very mild in comparison to the way normal people do because I had that because I think the way it goes is you are like it's almost like your out of body experience where like you're asleep but you're not asleep and it feels like there's something near you slash you see something and which is what happened to me is like I was laying in bed eyes wide open and I couldn't move my body and there was like a demon to the side of the bed. It wasn't Lee, it was like an actual demon. And the weird part for me though is it wasn't long that thing didn't approach me, but I still woke up with an erection. So it was a weird experience for everyone.
That's
and he's like, why is he so into this? I'm like, I'm submissive. Come get me, boy. He's like, no. I was his fear at that point. He was having sleep paralysis of me. He's like, no, don't get up.
Not a boner, goddamn. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's how you counter it. Maybe you just gotta trick it and get into it. So you just full blown stiffy and just.
You know what though, Matt? For because you don't watch horror movies and stuff, and maybe this will help you. I don't know if you care to watch horror movies. I enjoy the thrill. I like to get scared every now and then. But something that's kind of changed it all for me and really makes a lot, not all, but a lot of horror movies not so scary to me is when you find out the intentions of the creature or ghost or villain or whatever. And by that I mean, let's take, I don't know, The Grudge for example. Like this chick like comes out of your TV and shit, and then the camera always cuts, and then the next time you see this person is dead or whatever. So like when you fill in that gap, it's like, what did she kill the person and how did she kill them? So like if it were to happen to me, I always think like, okay, this bitch comes out of the screen and
that's The Ring. Is that not The Ring?
Is that The Ring?
Yeah,
you're right. Sorry, that's The Ring. You're right. That is The Ring. They look the same. Those two. Anyways,
it's kind of offensive.
You're right. The Ring. So the lady. Let's say she comes on the screen, there would, if it were in real life, there would be a moment of absolutely being terrified, but then in the very next second I'd say, okay, well now what? Like, you want to fight? You want to fucking fight me? I'll kick you. Like, there's
Put some hands, baby.
yeah, there's something so not scary about it, and maybe it's because I train martial arts and stuff. But like, even if I didn't, I just feel like, okay, this scary thing came, and now it wants to fight me. Like, another movie example would be, I don't know if you watched The Nun. Well, you probably not, Matt, but Lucas or anyone who's seen The Nun, this cool scary nun, and then she's just trying to like kill people. I'm like, yo, if the bitch wants to throw hands, I'm gonna light her up. I'm gonna light her up. Like, and
Okay,
it's just
No,
not
see,
scary.
I think the horror, the piece, so that I guess it's not those that really don't intrigue me. It's the ones that are like Insidious, for example, is the one that I'm going to quote. Like that one, or movies that are about a concept or that deal with the way you think or interpret or perceive things. Those are the ones that I can't watch because I feel like, you know, maybe watching that will change how I look at something, and then now I've exposed myself to that train of thought, and now it's like, yeah, now I'm gonna be fucking, you know,
Yeah, I agree.
impacted by that.
The psychological torment is far superior than a
Yeah.
monster trying to kill me. Like, fuck
So-
that guy.
You know what I did for coping with that kind of stuff? Because I used to have a big fear of the Grudge, than the Ring, and all that good stuff. And I started to realize I was more afraid because they were ugly. As shallow as that sounds. But like, just like,
So
you know,
did you
like,
train by like waking up in the morning and you look in the mirror like, I got you, bitch?
I ain't scared of you. I ain't scared of nothing.
Yeah, man, it doesn't get worse than this. But like,
He's
even like
yeah.
the Exorcist too, right? Like, it's just like an ugly person. And so like, but for some reason, like, that's what scared me. It scared me, like, that knowing like there's this thing that like would just like appear out of nowhere, and I'll be like, holy shit, like, who the fuck are you? Like, you know, like, I've never seen this kind of thing before. But like, what helped me cope with like fears of that kind of nature is, I remember I used to like come in late all the time, and like my parents would be like gone for like they'd go on vacation or whatever. I would have that be home alone, and then I would like come in late at night because I'd be at a friend's house. And what helped me, as dumb as this sounds, is like I'd literally walk into a dark room and be like, I'm not scared of you. I'm not scared of you. And then, like, I'd like turn on the lights and be like, ha, see? And, like, I would announce out, like, you know how like you like turn off the lights and like run up the stairs, you know, like that kind of thing. I would do that and be like, oh, I'm too fast for you. I'm
See, the reason I never do that is what if you give the thing a challenge? What if the thing's like, oh, you not scared
Oh,
of me?
you're-
Like, oh, you want to see? I'll show you why you should be scared of me.
you want
Fuck
to see
that.
speed? I'll show you speed. He runs past me. I'm like, there he is.
Fucking wrecks you in that race.
Yeah, I'd be more pissed about losing the race than him killing me. I'd be like, yo, man, like, rematch, like, best out of two.
Get
I
back
wasn't
down
ready, I
there.
wasn't ready.
Run it by again.
Let me get my Nikes. I had boots on. That's not fair. This guy had like Skechers on, like the dad 3000s, just running past me.
Oh man.